you're feeling well. And I've got my heart monitor hooked up here. Going to just go up and down, I think, this ramp in the rain. I was going to go inside and try to just use their stairwell. Maybe I'll have to go to the hospital. I'm going to try to get in the stairwell, but I only have about half an hour left with the monitor on, and I want it to see what happens to me when I'm physically moving and exerting myself. So I forgot about how beautiful the aerial view of the city is. This choose CORNWALL.ca, a great place to play. That's when we used to have, actually, I think that's the new bridge. That's the United States bridge here, and the one over here is the Cornwall Bridge. I don't know, it's hard to tell, but I think that's the new bridge. But the old bridge, you could actually see a pillar. Let me see if I can get my finger pointing at it. Wait, straight ahead to me, that way. There's a big pillar standing up that used to support the bridge, and that was left in memory of the bridge. The bridge was a feat of engineering and lasted for years, and used to be the site of excitement because when we'd go over the bridge, we'd be going shopping to Messina with my Nana and sometimes my sister, sometimes my best friend. And then I moved over there and had to cross the bridge every day for quite a while when the kids were young. So the bridge has a lot of memories for us, and it's sad that it's gone, but it needed to be redone, and this is a lot shorter of a destination to cross, like a lot quicker because it's a flatter bridge. The other one went way up so that the boats could go under. So I think what happens now is, I don't think there's any drawbridge part to it. I barely go over ever. I think they all have to be diverted over to the American side where the bridge still is high up. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to flip this over, let you see what I'm seeing. I have the monitor here, all hooked up. All hooked up. Yep. Oh, good. I got a hoodie on this. I didn't think I did. All right, let's let you see what I see, and hopefully protect you from the rain somehow. So, this is the Cornwall Civic Complex. This has the Aqua Center over there, the aquatic center. When we grew up, we used to always come to the Royals hockey games here. They were an OHL group, but all kinds of concerts, any kinds of circuses or anything like that always comes to the Civic Complex. And when we owned our dance school, we donated money to the aquatic center. It's under my 4 children's name. I thought it would be awesome to honor them. When they get older, they would have that memory to be able to be proud to say, like, my parents helped build this facility. The aquatic center needed so many thousands of dollars to get off the ground and going, and so we owned the school and had children and knew the city needed something like this really super bad for the residents and for tourism. So let's see. Oh no, she's locked. Locked. Okay, she's locked up. So what do? I don't think those are dry steps over there, but I think I'm going to walk in the rain over to the band shell. Hi guys, how are you? It's pouring rain. I'm going to try to protect the phone to some degree. This civic complex, like, we saw the Harlem Globetrotters here. Saw all kinds of concerts here. All the hockey games were here. I want to be able to show them my heart monitor, what it does when I'm active. So I just wish there was a way to do it to stay dry. So I'll just keep moving on, giving you guys a view of what's around. But yeah, it's all under renovation, so I don't know what's going on. It's a beautiful facility. This corner on the second floor here generally was a restaurant. So, oh, look at this big maple tree uprooted. I wonder if that'll take, I don't know. I don't know if that'll get redone or if that's gone and it's going to turn to this nice little oak. I think this is pretty cool that they have this that has like how many kilometers to New York? 620. Brooklyn, New York. Cornwall PEI is 1260. Oh, they got poodles. Look, they match it. Akwesasne. Cooper's Marsh, 22.8. That's a beautiful place to visit. So you're getting to see the riverside. There's not another person in the park. And my phone's getting soaking wet. How am I going to protect this phone? Try and protect all its important parts like that as much as I can. Protect. So I'm going for a walk, and I wanted to bring you guys with me. Uh-oh, my phone's acting spazzy. Oh, just have to push that. Okay, there we go. So that they get to see, look at angels watch over. Oh, I take that as a sign. Nice white feather. The angels watch over, guys. I want them to see what my heart does whenever I am doing any kind of physical activity. So, oh, there's some flowers. You want to see it's in the community garden boxes. Why not? I'm just going to do that. So they got some beautiful flowers. So they built these so that, see, there's some, I don't know what those are. Looks like lanterns growing. Very cool. Used to be food and things people could eat. There's some cucumber plants or zucchini here. So along the river, if you're walking along, you can grab a snack, which I think all cities should do. I think they should plant fruit trees, and they should plant, look at that beautiful flower. They should plant fruit trees. They should plant herbs. I think there's some chives here. But just things so that people walking along can be fed. Do, yo. Master is in, coming to you. Don't know why I'm singing. I was watching some Ozzy and Youngblood before. Do you guys know who Youngblood is? From Dorchester, England. Dominic. I used to know his full name, Richardson. I'm going to refresh my memory there. But look at that beautiful white echinacea. Cone flowers. The old theater needs some renovations. Here we go. I can exercise here. Back and forth. So this is the amphitheater. This is where people come. They perform to all that crowd there, watching them. Doo-doo show. There we go. I was trying to wipe the screen of the rain. They painted the steps down that way. Rainbow colors for pride. Down there and down there. So, representing the LGBTQ community. And when we used to own the dance studio, Magoo's Dance Company, which this is the clock tower right there, straight ahead. And then this is the county jail. And there's a cannon out front. You can't see it because of the trees right now. There's a water park for the kids right here and a big splash pad, which is awesome. And that's the mall straight ahead, the big downtown mall. It goes all the way across there. It used to have Sears in it, and it's got a bunch of stores, Shoppers Drug Mart, all of that. And I used to be a manager in that mall of a store called AU Cotton, Au Coton. It came from Montreal, Quebec. It was a one-size-fits-all store. There'd been never anything like it. The one size fits all. Oh, I'm supposed to be exercising. I'm supposed to be moving. Excuse me. They weren't too sure it would go. Here in Cornwall was a small town, much smaller than it is now. And anyways, the store was awesome, had the highest sales. It was really incredible. Had a lot of fun staff there. Gina Dahl and Andrea Terria, and just so many. Became a family. And there was the part when I first met my, which is now ex-husband, but husband. We used to go out dancing. In the weekend, we'd go out Saturday, Sunday night. We wanted to see each other as much as possible. And then I'd have to work Monday morning, open the store for 9 a.m. You'd have to be there by 8:30, to count the cash and flick the lights on and do what you have to do, right? And long story short, excuse me, there were times where, boy oh day, I had to take my lunch hour laying down on the cardboard boxes in the back shipping room area on the floor, because I didn't sleep, and I'd go all weekend. And that's when you're young, and you can do those things. And then when a store called Northern Reflections opened up at the Sears Mall, the Cornwall Square it's called, because it's on the whole square, takes up that whole city block is the word I'm looking for. So whenever this store called Northern Reflections opened up in Ottawa, which is our nation's capital, a much bigger city, they invited me because they knew our store sales. I had come in the mall. They were building their store across the escalator from me, almost directly across from my store on the second floor. And they just knew the customer service, right? They probably had secret shoppers because they were a franchise. That was much bigger than the one I was with at Okoton. But I loved Okoton. It was really a super cool store. I love the clothing. I actually did a fashion catalog layout. I was ahead of my time, guys. I'm not fibbing you. I was ahead of my time. I made a catalog so that anything in the store could be seen. And I had my mom, my dad, and his wife, and some really good friends and the workers from the store, and I think my husband at the time, Magoo, my only husband I've ever had for 23 years. I think he was in it too, I believe. I can't remember. But so, long story short, I got asked to work for Northern Reflections. They wanted me to open up their Ottawa store, which I went and did, and I helped. And I used to be a merchandiser for the franchise Susie Shear, which is still in that mall. I don't know if Susie Shear closed, but anyways, I got to be the manager of merchandising. So when new stores were opening and popping up everywhere at the time that was really growing, they'd send me on train, and I'd get to or drive, and I'd get to stay at hotels. And I was, at 18, I was the youngest manager that the Cadillac Fairview Mall, which is the franchise that owns this mall and the big malls in Ottawa, in Montreal as well, Bayshore, I think, and Montreal, Saint Laurent. I was the youngest manager that this franchise had ever seen, and with that regard, I at one time had an honorary plaque given to me. I thought about seeing if I could find out if I could get a copy of that, if they had it in their history books, but anyhow, it was an honor. And so those were the days before I became a registered nurse. I went on to college to take the registered nursing program, and then I did a couple of years of long distance schooling through St. Francis, so Cornwall, St. Lawrence College here in Cornwall is where I graduated as an RN from. And the year I graduated, or the year after, it became a BSN program, meaning it had to go to university level and having even more length of period of time. Mine was like a 3.5-year program, and I think it turned into a 5-year program. I think now it's a 4-year program. But in Canada, we had a time right around when I'm retiring now and when we were graduating that many nurses, especially when it switched over to the university program, many nurses, they weren't graduating. There was a lull in 2 years of graduates. There was nobody from the becoming a 3 program to a 5-year program. And then also a lot of senior nurses were retiring. A lot of downsizing from hospitals was happening. So a lot of people were being forced to work on floors they had never worked on. It was a nightmare until they became smart enough to get a float team, and then the float team needed to be trained properly. There's some beautiful spider webs. The float team were trained properly. There's a dandy, but there was one here that I don't know that my camera's going to pick up. It's just so gentle. Anyways, oh, let me show you what I'm looking at. They got a float team, and then the float team would be called to different areas. But there was a time I was called to, emergency for a car accident victim. One time, a overdose of heart medication, all in children, because we were pediatrics and OB at the time. And so the emergency would call us as specialists to come down. And then one really bad car accident where the child was urban surfing, standing on top of the minivan, and they hit a stop sign, hard brake at the stop sign, and the child was almost decapitated. And anyways, as a nurse, people don't realize what we go through and the trauma we see. And over 23 years, almost 30 years of nursing, and then having, still being active in the community and caring about people and hearing stories or trying to go and lift somebody's spirits when they're facing difficulties or end of life. I still try to do that, and my heart grew heavy. So post-stress is a real thing, folks. It's a real thing. I don't know, is it time? God bless everybody who is suffering. Trying to see. 13:19. So 12:1:19. 10 more minutes of walking with me. I have shout out, please. Definitely. I don't have my glasses. Void Brawler, TNL. Subscribe. So shout out to you. Definitely, guys. Sorry I don't have my glasses. But just wanting to say thank you for being on here. I appreciate it. I'm walking in Cornwall, Ontario. Just giving a little life history, I guess. I have a heart monitor on, which, well, it's probably easier to... I have 10 minutes left, and I wanted it to see what happens when I do active things, and it's raining, sort of cats and... Sorry, my alarm went off. So I'm trying to go... I wanted to go inside the building and get some exercise up and downstairs. I better pick up the pace. I want the monitor to see what happens to me when I'm active. And yesterday, I needed to be active so bad for it to get a proper reading of what goes on. And me, being me, I had an exhausting day the day before. I had to go up to Ottawa, which is an hour and a half drive. It was like 4 hours of driving in total, I think. And then to 2 hospitals, one for an ultrasound, and they discovered the hernia, and they were pressing so hard, which they needed to, and I appreciate getting good imaging, but I'm still having more pain than usual. And then to go get x-rays where I normally go at the general to see Dr. Amjedi, the specialist. So, and I always get very emotional there because I had taken my good friend Debbie, who had developed breast and brain cancer and lung and bone, and I used to take her to all her appointments for about 2 years and was with her for her last breath. And as a registered nurse working in palliative care and long-term care most of my career, even when I worked pediatrics and OB for 7 years, I'm doing good. I took my inhalers, but I'm not as short of breath as normal, which is because it's not hot. It's really cool out. It's just not giving us an accurate reading anyhow. But so we're in, guys, I have ADHD. Can you tell I got a million things on my mind? Where was I just going with that? Oh my God. I don't know. So this civic complex right here, that's got the big Aqua Marine Center. There's a plaque in there that says donations from Jazz, Shayla, McKaylee, and Jerikai Cook. We helped get that established. That's something we're very proud of. I was a manager of a clothing store in this mall here, the big Cornwall Square. It's built on quicksand. There's a whole quicksand belt that runs all the way through the hospital. Oh yeah, I was talking about peds and geriatrics being at the bedside. See how that comes back? Just, as a palliative nurse and long-term care nurse, I was with people, patients who were like grandparents to me, who some I just met, who some I knew for years, worked at one nursing home for over 10 years. many of them for, multiple years at a time. So you get to spend more time at work than you do with your own family at that point when you're full-time working, and they become close to you, and with their last breath, probably thousands of people. And that's not putting it lightly or exaggerating. That's the truth, the God's honest truth. I tried to figure it out one time, and it was way in the high hundreds. So over my career, I would say. And if you guys hashtag, I don't know if it'll show up here on YouTube, but if you hashtag on Facebook under my name, Shanna Cook, we must walk a path. The poem should come up. That the last patient I took care of in my nursing career, I did some private sitting with some people over the years, but the very last patient I took care of was Mo Morris, and I wrote something on a napkin, and when he passed, the family had put that on a plaque at his grave in Morrisburg, and a big angel on top of the pillar where the plaque is, and it was a beautiful honor. And it was just called We Must Walk a Path, how it's our destiny, how the people we meet throughout our lives, we were meant to meet for a reason, for an influence, to help, to mother, to, be a daughter of, it's a niece of, a granddaughter of, a grandmother, a nanny of, a nana, all of it, sister. For me, most importantly, mother. My 4 children are my life. Jazz, Shayla, McKaylee, and Jerikai. My life. Let me know in the comments, you guys, you have children. Drop in the comments how many children you have. If you don't want to name their names, just how many children did you raise. And it's interesting, as I walk around here, there's like campers and some vintage trailers going past, and just reminding me a lot of it is families in there. But I've been single for many years now, and I did have the motorhome. I did have a C-Class motorhome, and I did go, I better pick up my pace for the heart monitor. It's got to be getting to the end. I did go on excursions on my own and went a few times with a few friends, but mostly on my own. And I hate being alone, but I have to really embrace that now, I think, and that'll get rid of a ton of sadness and grief and anger and loneliness. So there's an ambulance go by as we speak. God bless. Yeah. So you're gonna see more solo adventures, and they're gonna be happy. Bought a trailer. The trailer needed work. Not sure what the situation's gonna be with it. Haven't had a chance to use it. The whole summer's gone by. But hoping that the dealership does what's right and fair. And with that being said, we'll see what the future holds. I guess at the end of the day, I've always wanted something I can drive. As a woman, I think it's important to not have to jump out of your, let's say, trailer you're pulling behind your truck and try to get into the driver's seat. It would be nice to have a pass-through tunnel or like a truck camper if I'm going to keep the truck. But the prices of campers and truck campers and pop-up tents, everything is just skyrocketed. It's nuts because of the surge in van life, the surge in people not being able to afford housing, needing to live in these units, needing to find alternative living, or just, wanting to travel the country. There's such a divide in the wealth and in the economics. Some people can't afford a home. Not far from here, there's many tents just over this way, straight over that way. And there's tent city all around. There's homeless communities that are living in tents, and in the winter, I'm not sure what's going to happen. It's just dreadful. But people need, because of the economic divide, and then there's these young millionaires and billionaires, like 18 years old, 22 years old, and they know e-commerce, they know AI, and they're just killing it out of the park, banging it out of the park, that economic divide causes a lot of social hardships and division amongst groups, because like here, like I just said, there's tents right over here, and that's also our marina with all the boats. I can show you guys what it looks like. I can probably go for a ride there in a minute and show you, like, you know, I don't know what's here, but sometimes big boats come through here. Celine Dion, Goldie Hawn's yacht used to come through. Friends of mine, I used to sit and visit, and they had lived right on the river, and they had binoculars, and they, for decades, they'd lived at this property. It was generational. So past over the generations, they had documented the different ships and lakers and yachts that went down the river, and what time and the date and what markings or numbers were on them and what the name of it was. And often you can find out who the owners are with the with Google now. Everything is out there. It's crazy, huh? Back in the day, you wouldn't know who the owner was when that yacht passed by. You would have no clue. You'd have no way to find out. And here now you just Google it, it'll tell you. So, but they used to, you know, mark them, and they also came from a wealthy area in Montreal, and there's ships, and the Lakers would pass through down that way too, and just interesting. And we're in a very interesting spot. If you guys check out my YouTube, I'm sure in the shorts, and also the Be Alive of the Iroquois docks, or go to, cause I don't know if you hashtag in YouTube, if it'll bring up like my video specifically, but if you hashtag Iroquois or canal system, something like that, or just look on my live videos, not too far. I think it was called the Wigeon, Wigeon. I'm going to start doing a figure eight because I'm getting dizzy going in that circle. It was a big laker that I filmed at the Iroquois lock system. And also there was, I don't know if it was osprey or there was a different type of bird that was being reported to have its young. And it's like bald eagles have come back to our area now that we're not using lead lures and no more lead in paints. And the environment is trying to take care of what it's supposed to be taken care of thousands of years ago anyhow, but hundreds of years ago. But the bald eagles are back, and this bird had its young up in the nest, and I tried to stay for a while, but I wasn't really equipped. Everybody had their big telescopic lenses on. Oops, I'm going slow. I'm probably past my time, but I've seen pictures, you know, through some photo groups. What do you call them? Yeah, CORNWALL photography and some photo groups, and different people who I follow. Got to see some photos, and I think it was a different bird. And then there was this white and red owl that they saw up near Ottawa, I believe it was, which many moons ago when the children were young, there was these snow owls that came in from, I guess, up north. The things were the size of toddlers. They were like 2 and 3 feet tall. Really did not look like owls. They literally looked like small humans or literally aliens, because the way those owls turned their heads and the way their eyes were, and there were so many of them, and they just, the scientists didn't know really where the species came from, and it was crazy. And we took the kids up to see, and we went to the park, and to be honest, it felt like they could even take your car away with their claws, like that they'd be strong enough to do that, because you could see what a normal barn owl, how big of an animal that some of the owls can carry. And then these owls were like literally the size of small humans, but they were so eerie, so quiet, just all sitting in the field like statues. And then at some point they'd move and flicker or fly, and you'd know they were real. And it was just something. You guys could look that up probably. They were like massive snowy owls. My children were maybe about 8 or 9 years old. So in the 2000s, maybe 2004, somewhere around there. But these gigantic white owls came in to the region an hour and a half away, and we drove out to see them. Just like when there was meteor showers, I used to wake up and get the kids up in the middle of the night, try to get them to bed early, get them up in the middle of the night, and go take them to see the meteor showers. My oldest, Jazz, broke the van window. I'll never forget one time wanting to see them so quickly, not letting me get the window rolled down all the way to the bottom, and sat up on the window to look up. And whenever Jazz did, the window broke. But and then one time, Shayla has a blanket that she has a good one now that her fiance had bought her. She had a childhood rainbow blanket that had like a satin rainbow on one side and like a really soft flannel on the other. And I'd bought her a couple over the years, and this one time she only had one little piece left of her blanket, you know, and we thought she'd grow out of it, not in adulthood maybe wanting to have it, but even when she went to university, it was her security. And I still have my childhood doll. Let me know in the comments if you've got a teddy bear or a doll or a blanket or a toy or something that was your security, that you felt was always there for you in a strange way, could understand you. Anyhow, in this piece of blanket, she dropped it out in the middle of a parking field, in the middle of a provincial park, like boat ramp area. And we went back and looked and went all the way back home, 40 minutes away, back up 40 minutes, finally went back and found it. And then I bought her a spare one, and over the years, I guess, I'm not sure if I think she still has a piece of her original one, which is the whole seam from the outline, I think, of it kind of stayed intact because it was the thicker part. Everything else was so fragile. But it's funny how we attach to things. My doll's name is Candy. A little black doll. Her eyes are green and blue and they open and close. You know, those old-fashioned dolls. And she's like, you know, that's all her eyes do. You know, she's not electronic or anything. I remember one time my brother poked one of her eyes out, and there used to be a doll maker in Cornwall that would repair dolls. I think that's so cool, man. Reminds me of Pinocchio and the toy maker. I know my time is up, but I'm just gonna finish doing a few loops talking to you guys and then shut the camera off and put it away. Maybe I'll go get some pictures of the rainbow steps. I don't know if I want to get that wet right now. Anyhow, gotta go get something to eat. Definitely get some nutrition. See? I shouldn't have let my thoughts go, guys. Let me know. Are you hanging in with me? If you're still here, at least put a thumbs up or put a peace symbol. I like to say peace out. Let me know. I just want you to know that I guess you're not alone. I'm here talking to you, so I'm not alone. And I want you to know that anytime you want to see what's going on, I try to videotape things that most people would drive by and not take note of. I try to take note of those things so that my children have a memory album of what my eyes got to see. Often I'll put it hashtag through my eyes. I have to hashtag my hashtag more often. But yeah, and guys, lots of big things happening. By winter, there's going to be all of the Shopify store will be up and running with some really cool swag motivational gear. I hope that, remember back in the 80s, everybody had like the banks, and my dad had them in his business. The picture of the lighthouse with the water swooshing around and the man standing there, which was a real photograph taken. I don't remember if that man lived that photo or not. I think tragically he didn't live, which was a sad thing, but the photo was photography-wise beautiful. But they were like these motivational quotes that, yeah, my stomach's sore. Motivational quotes that just went viral for years. Anybody who owned any kind of business would buy them and put them on their wall to, you know, incentivize their employees. They'd be like a tree and it would say inspiration and just little quotes. Anyways, I hope that my quotes become as well known as how those quotes, yeah, I'm getting dizzy, yo. Gotta stop. I hope my quotes become as well known as those quotes. So I hope you're having a happy day. Let me know in the comments what your favorite quote is. My dad used to say, if you don't use your head, the rest of your body will suffer. I have quite a few quotes that's the only one that I can think of right now because I'm a little bit dizzy and a bit exhausted. I do have water. I'm going to be a good girl and drink some water. Hope it didn't leak in my bag. Refilled my Gatorade. I know it's not good for microplastics. I know. And the thing is, I actually have a couple of really good thermoses at home, and I just need to take the time to use them. All right, we're going to head out. My heart monitor I'll take it off. Not right now. I don't know if it's still recording or not, but we're just going to go this way. Maybe straight down for visual effect. So this is where everybody watches the concerts during like Rib Fest when the live music is on. They're here watching. I'm trying to watch, not stepping in the, picking up as I go, guys, picking up. Not too much though, because the rain is probably going to ruin my phone. Let me just put you here. See all the seagulls? I don't mean to disturb you guys, but you live here, so you can come back in a minute when I pass through. Beautiful feathers, I guess. Lots of angel feathers here. Lots of poop though, not picking anything up. That's the thing. I love feathers too. I'm trying to protect the phone and not step in 1,000 goose poops. Look at all the goose poop, guys. Poop, 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 poop. Poop, 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 poop. You gotta really do a zigzag. Oh my gosh. And then you get closer to the trees. They like the shade, so you gotta be careful. Oh. Alright. So there's the Pride Steps. Quebecois, fleur de lis, poppies, the maple leaf, all the beautiful handprints. Those are hands. Oh, is it ever going to pour rain? No, 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 no. The north, that's the medicine wheel in the turtle, representing south, east, northwest. There's a seeing service dog. The birds with, look at the hands. The hands are doing the OK symbol right there. That is cool. And some more colorful steps right at our beautiful clock tower. And there's where we just came from, the band shell. So stay safe, y'all. Peace out. Take care. Cheers.